Hey, what's going on, y'all? Card Master Craig here, and welcome back to the mini-series on how to play the Pokemon TCG. Today, part 3, we're going to be looking at how to build a deck. What sort of cards usually go in one? What sort of Pokemon you should run, especially if you're looking at Standard, or at least ones that are a little bit easier to get than, like, a Charizard or a Full Art or a Secret Rare, things like that. So stick around. Once again, I posted on Twitter, and shout out HayezB. He's been a day one. I've been with him back on my brother's channel. It's really Timmy B. Make sure you give him a check out too. But he suggested that we do the water type. So without further ado, we're going to get some water type building deck going on. Let's get it. Alright, y'all, so now that we're in the app, let's go ahead and go to the deck manager. So go ahead and click that, deck manager. And you'll see right here, you got a little plus sign. Go ahead and hit that. We're doing expand it so we can have a little bit more cards. Standard's just a little bit less, like I explained, but I like doing expanded. Alright, so shout out HayezB. He decided on water, so easy peasy, just go over. Click water, and start filling it up with any water energies you have. I mean, I like doing a bunch of, reverse hollow ones are always fun to pull. I mean, it doesn't really matter, to be honest with you. We're gonna get about, let's do 14, and then ready? There is a water energy. It's called Wash. This is an old special energy. It's okay. And then expand it, we could still run it, but Phenol, yeah, I'm gonna add 16. That's perfect. Alright, so let's start off with our Pokemon. So once again, filters, water, and I'm gonna go ahead and hit Pokemon V. And we can scroll through all these different ones. Now what's nice is, now that Sword and Shield has been out for a little while, and we have 6 main sets and some other ones, we got a decent bit of water type V Pokemon. One that I like to run is the Blastoise V into Blastoise VMAX. I need to trade for another. It always stinks just running one, but again, this is a nice card. I'm going to skip over Empoleon V just because Emperor's Eyes, as long as this Pokemon is in the active spot, your opponent's basic Pokemon have no abilities except Pokemon with the rule box. And that's Vs, GXs, anything like that. It's definitely a pretty good card, but I'm not going to use it. I prefer using, ready, Galarian Darmanitan. And, do I have, no, I don't have the Ice Rider Calyrex VMAX, shoot. But that's okay, because we can just do Inteleon V and Inteleon VMAX. Alright. And you don't want your whole deck to be something like this, just a bunch of V cards, because you can get cheese and other decks that just use single stage, or 1 or 2 can just beat you out. And even if you knock them down, you're only taking 1 prize card. If they take out 3 Vs, you're done. 2, 2, 2. So it's not super smart to just load up your whole deck on Vs. But again, notice all I did was just go to filters. I decided to do a water deck. So water, Pokemon V. And that's how you can get started. Again, you can look at what you think might be fun. Just make sure you have at least 1 or 2. Now, the reason I say 1 or 2 is if you have a V into VMAX or something that you want to run that's evolved, then that's fine. But notice how everything else, I have 2 Galarian Darmanitans and 2 Inteleons, because I can do that. I bought the Inteleon V box specifically for that. Alright, let's turn off Vs. Now, you can check some of the older stuff. Again, GXs are just Sun and Moon. No big deal with that. Don't think I have too many. The Lapras GX isn't bad. You can draw a couple cards, but for right now, we have so many Vs, there's nothing really here that I want to add. So I'm just going to turn these all off. You don't have to close it, I just do, just to make it easier. And apply. Alright, now we got a bunch of different cards. Now there's a lot of good ones, and there's some that aren't the best. You have to figure out which ones work for you. Now, here's what I'll say right now. I already know what cards I want to run right now. I'm going to put 2 little snobs because they're so stinking cute. And they evolve into... Oops, not Frostlass. Frostmoth. This guy right here. As often as you like during your turn, you may attach a water energy from your hand to one of your bench Pokemon. That's free energy pump. That's a great ability, and that's something you want to look for. One thing that Pokemon TCG does is they make searching for cards very easy. So a lot of times when I started first learning all these, I would just be like, alright, let's see what ability cards I have. And you can just cycle through them. I have this awesome Blastoise, which is about the same thing. You may attach water energy from your hand to one of your Pokemon. Except that's stage 2, whereas this is a stage 1. And you'll notice I have a lot of cast forms, just a lot of other things. And it all depends. You can go ahead and read it, but for right now, I know the cards that I want to put in. Alright, let's just search for some basic cards now. So these are going to be ones that might evolve, and these are just going to be ones in general that, it might just be a single stage evolution. Like these Cramorants. Cryogonal. Look at this, Team Plasma one, that's pretty cool. No. Bit out shot, we don't really want to run those. Let's do... And this is honestly a lot of deck building too. You can follow exact ones that someone gives you online, or you can just scroll through kind of like I am right now. Kyogre. Alright, one from Cosmic Pikachu. That's not a bad ability. Throw them in. Again, right now we're just getting our feet wet, and I'm showing you some of the basics of deck building. A lot of it's just exploring and figuring out what works for you. And you know what? I am going to do... Where's the Lapras? Here it is. Winter Recall. Search a deck for up to 2 Melanie cards, reveal them, put them into your hand. We're going to run 3 of those. And then I'm going to type in Crobat. Notice how it doesn't come off. Aha, that's right. Because we still had water selected. These little guys are a great asset. Literally, dark asset. When you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench during your turn, you may draw cards until you have 6 cards in your hand. You can't use more than 1 dark asset ability each turn. That's free drawing. This is a card that literally should go in any standard and honestly any expanded deck. These are one of the staple cards. Some of the other ones... Dedenne! This is a great card that just got phased out of standard. It was in Sun and Moon. When you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench during your turn, you may discard your hand and draw 6 cards. You can't use more than 1 per turn. So about the same thing as Crobat, except with discarding. And this was another staple. It's up to you. I am going to put one in, and actually, I'm going to take this Kyogre out. 17 Pokemon's right where I want. But I do want some cards in the graveyard. I always say graveyard. I gotta stop that. In your discard pile. For when we go over to trainers, and look. We get Melanie. Attach a water energy card from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon V. If you do, draw 3 cards. This isn't a staple of every deck. This is definitely a great card, and maybe a staple of standard water decks right now. But let's get into some actual cards that are some staples. This guy. He's actually not too bad if you're looking for just getting more balls back. But I typically run a lot of great balls. They're just something, search, you know, the top 7 cards of your deck, grab a Pokemon. So if you're down and out, you can play 3 of these per turn. I've gotten 2. There's no problem with that. And actually, I do have an Apex card, too. This card is... this is definitely a staple if you can pull one. As you can tell, it's definitely one of those secret rare. This is called an Apex card. And it brings back a lot of old broken things, or it introduces a broken thing. So every single Pokeball, whether it's Pokeball, Great Ball, Ultra Ball, Level Ball, has a catch. Flip a coin, top 7 cards, discard a card. This one's literally search for any Pokemon you want and put it into your hand. Kabooski! Now, level balls are also very good, but you gotta take a look. Do you see any 90s? Nope. The only 90 or less are the Frostmoth and Snom. And those are cards that you want to get out onto your bench pretty quickly to pump energy. But in terms of everything else, So we're going to go all the way down to Quick Ball. These are great cards because you can get any basic Pokemon. And don't forget, V Pokemon are basic. VMAX are not. So I can get out my Crobat or my Dedenne, and automatically draw some cards just with that Quick Ball. Alright, let's go ahead and do some switches. I'm going to put in 2 bosses' orders. And again, there's a couple standard. Giovanni, Lysander. It's really up to you. I'm going to throw in this. Oh, I so wish I could still run these in standard. Great card. But I'm going to go all the way over to the classic switch. And again, you'll notice that I'm grabbing cards that, if you look carefully, are in the Sword and Shield set. If I really wanted to, look at this. I could do the reprint of base set from Evolutions and do that. And expand it, it's really up to look. In Standard, even though these do the same thing, these wouldn't fly. Alright, let's get some draw cards, too. Marnie! Always, always, always a good card. Basically a staple of Standard, and just about most decks nowadays. Now, this one's more for preference. We'll just do Professor Juniper, because again, doesn't matter. Discard your hand and draw 7 cards. Well, Marnie's only 5, but it's a disruptor, and it also forces your opponent to draw 4. But this one allows you to draw 2 more if you discard it. So it's up to you. Now there's also the option, of running Cynthia, a great card from the Sun and Moon block. That's just shuffle your hand and draw 6 cards. It's 1 less than Professor's Research, but 1 more than Marnie. I like running Cynthia's. It's just shuffle and draw. I don't always like discarding, because then you might get into, crap. I just discarded everything I needed. And let's see. So we got switching these. I also like doing this disruptor, Koga Strap. Always a solid supporter. So we got our balls. Let's do this. This is a fantastic card from back in the day. It's almost 10 years old now. Free item. You can play as many of these as you want. Your opponent's active Pokemon is poison. Flip a coin. If it's heads, asleep. Toss those bad boys in if you have them. Alright, so we're up to 55. 5 more cards. Everything's looking good. Looking good. Looking good. And you know what? Let's do... Yep, let's do 1 more energy. Alright, 1717. And one thing that you can do, you can come down here and just search for specific things, like maybe you want some more items. Patch is good. Big Charm. I think I am going to add some more items. We'll do Aqua Patch in case I don't pull a Melanie. And you know what? Just for the sake of this video too, there's nothing wrong with adding a little Pokemon tool. Plus 30 HP. I've gotten into a lot of binds where that extra 30 HP saved me. Water, Card, Master, Craig. And again, before you hit save, it'll say everything. Check your coin that you want to use. Doesn't matter. I'm going to use the, Galar Partners deck box. I can use Blastoise. Let's use the Water deck since I earned it. Card sleeves. Yeah, let's use... Is this Shadow Rod? Or the Ice Rider. Let's use Ice Rider. And once you hit save, it'll tell you, hey, you need to do this, or it's good. Go try it out. I think we will. the big moment we all been waiting for. Card Master Craig. Oh, but that'll be next time. Thanks again so much for watching. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. That lets me know that you're enjoying this series. Once again, shout out to HayezB, and it's really Timmy B. I'll drop a link in the chat or the description down below so you can go subscribe and check out their channels. But thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye!